Hi everyone, my name is Sydney and today we're going to be discussing New Moon by Stephanie Meyer. This is the second book in the Twilight series. Basically, this is all about Jacob. If you're Team Jacob, this is the book for you. If you haven't read this series before, if you don't know about this story, you should know about it by now. But if you don't, go read the books, go watch the movies. It's so much fun. I read these books when I was in high school and I'm rereading them now as an adult, which has been the best decision ever. It is really fun to be here to talk about these books, and surprisingly, I find that my opinions from when I was a kid to now is kind of different. I really miss the red flags. I was definitely Team Edward back then, that's for sure, but right now I'm not. Basically, this story is about Bella Swan. She moves to Forks, she's going to high school. It's there where she meets Edward Cullen, who, dun dun dun, is a vampire. Ooh, it's just so much fun. You need to read it. Go read it, come back, we can talk. I just want to get into the spoilery section. Let's do it. I want to talk about it. So here we go in 3, 2, 1. So, Team Jacob. I, at the beginning, was a fan because Jacob is all warm and smiley, charismatic, bubbly, cute, right? But as this story keeps on moving, Jacob, he's no longer his sweet self. He becomes super aggro and grumpy all the time. It's also giving red flag, just like Edward did. Here are my thoughts. I am not Team Edward or Team Jacob. I'm kind of Team none of them. And I don't mind. I think Bella needs a bit of time on her own to figure things out. I think Edward is very possessive, especially at the beginning of this book. He is super protective, very controlling. He doesn't want Bella to be friends with Jacob, which, look, understandable because Jacob has feelings for her. He's overprotective. But then you have Jacob as well, who is comfortable with trying to steal someone else's girlfriend. I love sweet Jacob. And if we didn't get the whole werewolf transformation, I would love to stay with Jacob if I was Bella personally. He was so sweet. He was everything that Edward is not. When Jacob finally transitioned into being a wolf, he became this other person. And poor Bella is depressed. She says she's not suicidal, but she is. For her to be with someone who is that pessimistic and down and angry, I just don't think it's the right fit. She really does need someone who is uplifting and warm to balance out her emotions. But of course, she chooses someone who is the same as her. She ends up choosing Edward. I really love the beginning of this book, how it starts off with this dream sequence. She sees herself as an old woman standing next to Edward, who never ages, who will always be 17, which gives her the ick. Basically, she wants to be with Edward forever. Bella has already made this decision that she wants to be a vampire. Edward doesn't want to hurt Bella and does everything in his power not to hurt her, but in doing that, he's hurting her. One day, he just takes Bella to the forest, breaks up with her, and leaves her there, all alone. What are you doing, dude? Could you at least have driven her home? Like, poor Charlie. Are we not thinking about Charlie anymore? And we find out at the end of the book, the reasoning behind Edward doing that was to follow the tracks of Victoria, because he realizes she's still around and they need to find her. I don't know why he couldn't just tell Bella this. Instead, he decides to break up with her with no reasoning. All of the Cullens just move. They're all just gone. So poor Bella, she gets dumped. And she gets dumped in the way that feels like a text message. I just really felt for Bella in that moment because it made me think about my experience being dumped. And looking at her experience, how dumped and alone she was in that. It is sad. Who knew I could relate to Bella? And then Bella just becomes super, super depressed. She's going month to month, still going to school, still doing well at school, but she just has the life completely sucked out of her. Bella thinks she has no purpose here, that her purpose is Edward. Everything is about Edward. Bella has a full-blown obsession with Edward, and that is not healthy. This is why I stand with my point that Bella should just not be with anyone. She should just be on her own, figure herself out, and then find a partner, honestly. Edward is gone. He has left, and Bella is all alone. She loses all her friends because she has no desire to talk with them. That is not how life should be, where you are dependent on a partner, on another person. I feel like within life, we all need to learn independency. Yes, this other person can make us happy, but what are other streams that can give us joy, that can bring us joy? It doesn't have to be through your partner. It can be through work. It can be through your friends, your family. It's sad to see that Bella doesn't feel this, doesn't know this for herself. Her whole life is revolving around Edward, who is a vampire and has lived a lot of lives already. But then we have our saving grace, Jacob. Then again, I'm still feeling quite sad because Bella is just using Jacob. We know that Jacob has this huge crush on Bella. He obviously is thinking, oh, Edward isn't here anymore. I've got my chance. She can be my girl. And Bella, she uses him in that Bella is able to have and find a best friend out of him. Seeing him, they build up these motorbikes, they ride these motorbikes. And for Bella, having this project, she's doing it selfishly, being reckless. She might be able to see Edward, she might be able to hear Edward, which does end up happening. She's using Jacob in the process. It's also making her feel life again because she's laughing with Jacob. She's having fun with Jacob. She's still somewhat connected to Edward even though he's not there. Which is the sad part about this whole thing. She starts to cling so much to Jacob, and Jacob ends up transitioning into a wolf. Super cool for his character arc, but also really sad because this sweet soul, this sweet, bubbly, warm, vibrant, like the sun soul has completely changed, and she's thinking to herself, Jacob, you are so different. What is wrong with you? What has happened to you? Did someone do this to you? And they're just blaming Sam. But Sam is the leader of the wolf pack. Jacob ends up becoming part of this pack. The way that they are able to communicate with each other is super interesting. Once they're in wolf form, they are able to read each other's minds. And I thought that was an interesting parallel to specifically Edward, because his secret talent is he can read other people's minds. Jacob is the best friend, and he also has the same secret talent where when he's in his wolf pack, they all can read each other's minds. They end up knowing everything about each other in the pack. There are no secrets you can keep. Bella takes so long to figure this out, which is so funny to me because in the first book, Jacob makes it so clear that Edward is a vampire, he's a bloodsucker, which was said way too many times. He makes it so clear that he comes from a wolf family. Bella is a little bit daft. It's pretty obvious. So when she finds out, she's in complete shock. Bella has so much love for Jacob, and it's sad that she's using him. And in the end, she says it's always been Edward. Which when I read that line, I thought, girl, you had an out. This whole book, this whole story, I really felt for Jacob. The wolf pack, they love cliff jumping, cliff diving. Bella sees it once and automatically thinks in her head, oh, I need to do that. She ends up doing it. Is not a height a human would jump off from. She is so lucky that she survived. Alice has this vision of Bella jumping and thinks she's dead. So she comes back to Bella's house in order to figure out whether she's still alive. Meanwhile, Edward is thinking, oh my god, is she dead? She was reckless. She did this stupid thing. Is she dead? It's all because of me, because I left. And yes, you fucking left without any reasoning. You just dumped her like that. Edward, he ends up calling Bella's residence. And who picks up? Jacob. And he basically manipulates Edward to believe they are all heading to Bella's funeral. And this is again why I am not Team Edward or Team Jacob, because they both kind of suck. It was pretty fucked up that Jacob did that. He just wanted Bella all to himself. He was thinking, finally, Edward is out of the picture. Bella gets to be mine. Bella hates him as much as I do. I want her to be mine. Edward is also just nuts. He can't live a life without Bella, but he broke up with her in order to protect her, but then decides to go to the Volturi. Alice, she ends up stealing a car. She is doing everything in her power to get herself and Bella to Italy, to the Volturi, in order to save Edward, which is crazy. He wants to step out into the light and show off his sparkly goods to everybody to get himself killed by the Volturi. The Volturi are also characters I love in this story. I find them so intriguing. You have Dakota Fanning. You have her character. She is able to torture people with her mind. Crazy. When they are all in that room trying their powers on Bella, it's like there is this wall that Bella is protected. I love Arrow, how he has similar powers to Edward, where he can read someone's mind, but he has to have contact with them. I love how Alice gives her hand so they can read into her mind, seeing her visions that she has seen. How Alice says, I've seen it. I've seen Bella become a vampire. She becomes one of us, but her visions, they're not always accurate. I love that about this moment though, because they were able to manipulate the Volturi in order to free themselves, in order to go. Then you have the end of this book. Edward, again, is just so protective. He says to Bella, I will only turn you if you marry me. Meanwhile, Bella is still in school and Bella is like, what? I want to be it now. Again, he's up to his old tricks, but she still chooses him. As they are leaving the Volturi, you see this group of tourists entering, and they don't know what they're entering into. They are literally the meal for the Volturi. So of course, Victoria is also a big part of this story. And we have her little sidekick, Laurent, who shows up in Forks. Bella, she is in that precious meadow she used to go to with Edward. And Laurent is there. Bella is there all alone. Laurent is just circling her and saying, where is your boyfriend? Meanwhile, Bella is lying through her teeth, but the wolves have got her back. They rip him apart. There's a part of me that was so sad that happened because I love Laurent's character. I actually think he might be one of my favorites. He's got this loyalty to him, but he's also very cool, mysterious, a really interesting villain. I wish we got more of him, to be honest. Then there's another part of me that's like, yes. And just everything that is happening, it's so epic. Early on in this book, Jacob and Bella, they decide to go to the movies and they invite all the friends. But none of them are able to go except Mike. Mike ends up going because he also likes Bella, because everybody loves Bella, and he thinks he's got a chance. Meanwhile, Jacob is there saying, what's up, Marshmallow? Mike is sick. He's sick with the flu. Jacob ends up being sick and Bella thinks it's because of the flu, but he's actually just turning. The way that he ends up ignoring Bella, and Bella's just like, how can you do this to me? You can't be the same as Edward. I need you, I need you. That was crazy. It's funny, the first time I read this book, it took me so long to get through it. I just was not Team Jacob at all. And I felt like Bella, where I was just like missing Edward, thinking, oh my god, I can't read this anymore. I don't care about Jacob and these bikes. But reading it as an adult, I feel differently, which is really funny. I actually really enjoyed reading it. This story, it's so fun. I feel like I'm laughing so much when I'm reading this series. So yeah, basically I am not Team Edward and I am not Team Jacob. Will Bella get what she wants? We will see. I will see you guys in my next video. I can't wait to talk about Eclipse with you. And if you are on this reading journey with me, let's talk. Let's talk. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in my next one. As usual, bye!